Welcome back to Mic'd Up with Mama Shaun. I'm your host, ReShaun Webb, Mama Shaun to some, coach to many, and always your sister in growth and grace. This episode is a love letter to you, loving me out loud because you're not too hard to love. You're learning to love yourself first. Oh my goodness, have we got a good show for you? This episode is a love letter to you, not the polished version, but the hustling, smiling, on the outside version. Not that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Oh no. But the real you, the one that nobody sees. And some, the one that nobody understands. I want you to take this episode and dedicate this to yourself. Turn off every distraction, everything that keeps you from focusing and locking in. I want you to turn it off and turn it down because this is for you. The one who learned to show up even when no one else clapped. Ooh, that's a big one, right? As leaders, as parents, y'all show up, we show up. We have to. There is no I can't or there is no I'm too, that we have to show up. And it's hard because when we need someone to show up, people don't, right? The one who heals, who's healing the things that they didn't cause. You're healing for something that was not your fault. It wasn't your fault that that pain happened. Being a business owner, you can get hurt and hit all at the same time, all in one day. And it won't be your fault. It'll be staff member or a child or an outside influence. It won't be your fault, but you will take the brunt of it. Any type of leadership position, though it is a hat to wear that is, it looks great. It looks amazing. But there's also something about when the bad happens and the foot and the shoe fall, who has to take the responsibility of it? Although we were not there, although we weren't around, we do. The one who's finally learning to love yourself out loud, right? Let's backtrack a little bit to September 8th, I believe. September 8th, 2018. I had just accepted a position at a childcare center here in San Antonio as the director. Um, and I didn't realize in taking that position that that was going to change everything. The world that I currently knew to be safe, it was going to change everything. A part of the nail in the coffin that ended my relationship was that I took that job. And I have no, as we say, I have no regrets. You know the Snickers commercial? You know the tattoo artist says regrets instead of regrets. I have no regrets. I will never have regrets for taking that job. Never. Because in taking that job, I have met some amazing parents. In that job, I met some amazing teachers. And most importantly, I met some amazing kids that I still get to love on whenever I want to. So I have no regrets about taking that job. But I did not know the selfishness behind the other person in me taking a job that was the only job available for me to sustain myself. The selfishness of the other party. Remember, tonight's episode is loving me out loud, right? So when I love myself out loud, I shout it from the rooftop. I share it with the world. And I was excited for this job. I even went so much as I will take this job and then in January, I'll quit the job and we can get married. How foolish and dumb was that? From September to for January, I would be there long enough to get some money so I can go and start a life with someone who was broker than me. But anyway, y'all didn't hear that from me. Loving me out loud. Segment 1. Let's talk about self-love isn't a trend. It's a testimony. Self-love is not a trend. It's not something that we do to get clicks and likes and boosts and followers. It's not something that we do to make ourselves look good or feel good. That's something we should be doing all the time. Let's be real. So, self-love is more than bubble baths and brunches. It's choosing not to settle. Not to settle for the job, not to settle for the position, the promotion, not to settle for the man or the woman, not to settle for, being in a classroom that you're really not a fan of, um, being in a position that you know is uncomfortable and you're settling because it's just temporary. I'm all for understanding what it's like to pay bills. I'm all for, hey, I'm gonna need this job because sooner or later I'm gonna have people knocking on my door. I'm all for that. Totally get it. But are you settling? Right? One of the things that I do with my teachers is I give them free reign pretty much to plan the activities, to do the crafts with the kids, um, to anything that they want to do or want to add. I give them reign to do it. I give them free reign. Why? Because I have been with them, I have coached them, I have sat with them, I have thrown scenarios at them to prepare them for, hey, what do you want to do with butterflies? Right? So I have done what they needed to do to get the job done. Self-love is wasn't it's walking away from a place that drains you. When I realized that I was helping someone else's dream reach its full potential and I wasn't going to go any higher and the dream wasn't changing because it wasn't mine, I knew it was time to go. And I loved my kids. Oh my gosh, those are my babies. I don't care if they're 30 years old, those are my babies, right? We co parent. I co parent with their parents. Like, those are my babies. But I realized that my love for them was achieving someone else's dream when I had a whole dream of my own. But I did not know that in that in the token of all of Jericho falling around me, we'll call it Jericho, falling around me, the dream that I wanted included the kids that I loved more than anything. And to this day, that was 3, 4, 5 years ago. To this day, I still get to share. I'm going to do it on Wednesday. In fact, I get to still love on my babies where they're eager to come. And I'm like, y'all don't want to be with people, your friends. They want to hang with me. They want to hang with Mama Shaun. And I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. From my youngest one to my oldest one, right? I didn't walk away from my babies. My babies didn't drain me. The adults did. And in the process of me walking away, God said, okay, I'm going to give you what you prayed for. That includes your babies. And when I tell you, I will always tell people that praying before God and my babies saved my life. I will always say that. I say that to this day. When I wanted to commit suicide, I just didn't know how to do it, that or erase my memory, my babies saved my life. My babies and the Lord, most importantly, God, definitely, but my babies, they'll never know. but I know. It's forgiving yourself for ignoring red flags because you just wanted to be seen. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I deserve this, so I'm going to suck it up. Although these flags are blood red, I'm going to suck it up. I know I'll get their attention, but I'm going to stay here a little while longer. Honey, let me tell you something. I prefer my peace over hell and chaos. I prefer my peace over having to constantly um, burp and wipe the spittle off of a grown man. I prefer my peace. I'm not going to stay when there are red flags everywhere, sirens going off everywhere. I had to forget, it took me forever to forgive myself for that. 3 years wasted. I had to, it took me a while to forgive myself because I could have been with the one that I would be with forever, but I was too busy locked into someone else that was just 3 years longer than they should have been. And sometimes it comes to my mind and I have to shake it off because, oof, that 3 years is a long time to go nowhere. 3 years is a long time to be in the same position, right? If you have a goal, if you have an idea, if you have a dream, a passion, something that you want to do, don't stay stagnant for 3 years thinking it's going to change over time. Honey, it is not. And you know why? Because you have what it takes to make it move. I can either listen to what I'm told and hope it'll pan out, or I can bust a move and get up out of there. You have the power to do that. So yeah, don't ignore those red flags on your job. Don't ignore those red flags in your relationship. Don't ignore those red flags with friends or peers or I what that relationship taught me. We're talking about self-love. What that relationship taught me was that I needed to put myself first. But because there was an age difference, because love was truly there 100%, I respect that person at that level, right? Who would one day be the king of our home. And so I didn't do a lot of standing up for myself. Self-love also means standing up for yourself. When you feel something that's not right within yourself, you need to express it. You need to say something. And that's one thing I didn't know how to do because I was afraid he was gonna leave, right? Those abandonment pains. I was afraid. So I didn't, and I kept it quiet. But when it blew over after we broke up. And I went on a rampage for a week straight. Anytime I felt like it, I got it out however I wanted to, however it looked like, right? But the damage had been done already. Loving myself out loud means saying, no, I don't have to answer that call, right? We're so quick to, if it buzzes, if it vibrates, if it rings, if it pings, if it pongs, we're going to go pick it up. I'm guilty too. But what about right now? I'm not going to pick it up. I'm going to sit in this moment and not do anything. As my mother would say, vegetate. I'm going to sit here and vegetate for a minute. I'm going to give myself 5 minutes on the clock to sit and do nothing. I'm going to let my mind relax. I'm going to let my mind drift and wander without a time clock, a time restraint, without a deadline, without Mama Shaun, I need this. Mama, I need that. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? I need this done. I need that done. 5 minutes. You owe yourself 5 minutes. Yes, I can rest without guilt. Can you? Can you rest without? feeling guilty that you're resting, I'm going to admit something on here that I have never admitted to anyone. So if you repeat this, I'm going to deny it. But there are times when I'm on vacation, which I do once a year, away from everybody. I'm in a whole nother state. If you know, you know. And I when I get text messages or when I get, I feel guilty that I'm there and my group is back home dealing with all these things. I can't even let myself enjoy because there's hell and chaos at home. Chaos that we did not expect. Case in point, last year, went on my vacation. We left Sunday. First stop Monday morning. I'll get a message right as we enter Universal Studios. The AC isn't working and it's hot. Well, crap. We literally just got to the park and I'm already like, we just paid with the $35 to park up front. We were about to pay the 150, 60 bucks for this ticket to get into this park. And I could not even enjoy it. I wasted 160 something bucks because back home the air conditioner wasn't working. And so I'm stopping, I'm this, I'm that. And my mom couldn't even enjoy it because that was her favorite part because I'm stressed out, right? So I couldn't even rest. I felt guilty. And then once we got it fixed, I was able to enjoy the rest of my trip until someone asked me for money. Anyway, I'm worthy even when I'm not productive. You absolutely are. You're worthy because God said you're worthy, whether you're productive or not. We have to remember that He views us and thinks of us differently. And who cares what a human thinks? Let me tell you something. There's somebody I know right now who I considered close as a sister who was talking about me behind my back for a while. I didn't know about it until I was told by two different people, two different occasions. And I made it my choice to speak to this person as if nothing ever happened. I could blast them out and be petty and be immature, but I decided not to because two immature people don't make a mature one. So so I decided every time I see this person, you're going to make a shady comment, I'm going to make one shadier. And you might not even know you just got sliced because I refuse to let you think you can control me with your words and I'm going to bend down to you like I'm one of your workers. No. And that's what happens when people think that they can get over on you, mistreat you, talk about you any kind of way, whatever they want to do because we allow them to. We think it's okay. It is not, sweetheart. It is not okay for someone to dismiss you or someone to talk about you or so. No, it is not. You are amazing and better than them. I've never said anything horrible about this person. I've never talked about this person behind their back that I didn't say to their face. And it did hurt me a little bit that this person said this because I've always defended them when people talked about them behind their backs, right? So, in loving yourself, remember that you're worthy. Okay, so what does healing really sound like? Healing doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's soft and it sounds like, I'm not available for that energy anymore. I'm not going to give it to you anymore. I won't allow you to. Because again, someone can't come in your space unless you allow them to. Someone can't do anything to you that you don't want them to unless you allow them. No, you're not finna call my phone acting a fool. No, you're not finna disrespect my school. No, you're not finna call my phone and make demands of me like that. No, you're not going to do that. And that's okay. That's called setting boundaries. We teach the children boundaries, right? When someone says no, please don't, we need to respect that. When someone says, I don't like that, we need to respect that. That is called setting boundaries. I love me enough to not explain myself today. You don't owe anybody an explanation that don't pay your bills. You don't owe anybody an explanation that don't give you a check, right? There's certain things by law, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? I deserve the same grace I give everybody else. And me, I will go on a limb and say I deserve to be shown up for when I show up for everyone. I'm that cheerleader, right? I will, yay, good job, congratulations, that's amazing. How was your first day? I text a real good friend of mine today. Shout out to Paul, who had summer camp. He is a program director or coordinator for like a tennis foundation or whatever. So they had first day of camp. I texted him yesterday in case I forgot today. Hey, good luck on your first day of camp. And then I text him later on today and said, hey, how's your first day? Blah, blah, blah. Right? I show up for people. I'm that girl. Even when I'm exhausted, even when I'm tired, I show up. Whether, we haven't spoken in years and somebody passes or what, I show up for the people that I care about. But guess what? I have to reach out for them to show up for me. And that's okay. I don't expect people to automatically know, oh, ReShaun need. No, I don't expect that. Some of it is that's just who I am as a person. Like I genuinely care about people. So I'm going to genuinely, reach out to you, not for accolades or a pat on the back or a shout out, but because I'm genuinely interested. Right? When people that I know pass away, when their loved ones are still here, whatever, I'll check in with them from time to time, make sure that they're good. Because even though mom, dad, brother, sister's gone, that don't mean that they've gotten over it that quickly, right? So that is how I operate. I have to send a red flag, a marching band, an announcement sometimes for people to say, hey, are you okay? Are you good? Right? And that's okay. That's just how people are. Loving yourself out loud is being your own safe place. It's becoming the woman or the man your younger self needed and your future self will thank you for. Right? I'm going to be honest and transparent with you. The one thing that I deal with most of all is abandonment. And that's because of my father. He was the first man to break my heart. But at the same time, he was the last man to heal my heart. And in understanding that over the course of X amount of years, I can no longer be angry at someone who isn't capable of certain things. So I have to rest within myself and create a safe space within myself so that way I don't harbor ill feelings. It's becoming the woman or the man that your younger self needed. What did you need back then that you've got now? How did you get there? What did you do? Who were the ones that were responsible to make it happen? Now we're going to have a letter. We're going to write a letter to ourselves. All right, I want you to get a pen and paper. I'll wait. Or your phone. Did you get it? No, you didn't. Go get it. Yes, get up. Go get pen and paper or a notebook or on your phone and get it so we can write this letter. Okay. Writing a letter to your younger self. Dear younger self, you don't have to overperform to be loved. You don't have to shrink to fit. You are already enough. One day you'll stop apologizing for taking up space. One day you'll see the woman or the man in the mirror and finally recognize your superpower. I'm proud of you for surviving. I'm proud of you for hoping. I'm proud of you for not giving up. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I love you out loud, on purpose, and without conditions. So here is your mic'd up moment for tonight. You're not hard to love. You're learning to love yourself in the places that were never loved properly. This is your season of softness, strength, and self. Let the world hear it. Love yourself out loud. I want you to love yourself out loud. I want you to take care of yourself. I want you to be true to yourself. I want you to be good to yourself out loud, not quiet and hidden where you're barely a whisper, but out loud. Let the world see that you love who you are. Let the world see. Let me tell you about me. I have a type of dyslexia. And so there are times when my brain does not compute at all. And I think differently and I see things differently. And it's frustrating because a lot of people, it's not a lot, but some people don't understand me. But in my brain, I know exactly what I'm saying. I know exactly how I'm saying it. I just can't seem to get it out, right? That is who I am, right? But at the same time, I will crack a joke. I will say the most silliest things to the people that I am safe with. And they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, well, hey, it is what it is, right? Because I love me. I had to get to that place. How long did that take, you ask? It took me about 6 months or so before I started laughing again. It took me 6 months. It was about February or March of 2019 that I finally started laughing again. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for listening to tonight's episode of Mic'd Up with Mama Shaun. If you felt seen, send this to a friend who needs a reminder to put themselves first. Don't forget to follow the podcast, drop a review, or email me to share your story, and we'll read it right here on the show. This show is about healing, faith, love, education, early childhood, parenting woes, all the things that surround love and life and positivity. But most importantly, with God at the center of this show. And if you're planning a Disney vacation, we would love to hear about it. You can email me at bells.hideaway@bestvacationsever@yahoo.com. Or you can email me at mic'dupwithmamashaun@yahoo.com. Or email me at childcaremedia@yahoo.com. We would love to hear from you. We would love to put your story of faith and resilience out there. Until next time, love yourself out loud, always.